I don't know if you've seen that video that is going on around about DNA that shows that we are all family. We are not such pure race as we think we are. It looks like we are all cousins here. So I would like to start by asking you to hug at least 2 people and say, hello, cousin, thank you for being here. Okay, so you can continue doing it for the rest of the day and the rest of your life. Because hugs are very healing tools. So I want to share with you that I'm here on the stage without any title. I'm actually a CPA and licensed in business administration. So what am I doing here? One day I woke up and I realized I was looking for happiness in the wrong places. And my search started because my oldest son talked to me the way I used to talk to him, angry. And when I saw him, I saw myself. And I said, Mabel, you've been looking for happiness in the wrong places. I made a decision. You know, life is about decision, choices. We are really 100% responsible. We are the ones creating our lives, like it or not. But the good news, at least when I realized I was 100%, I found out that I was 100% responsible, I said, wonderful. If I create it, I can change it. How many of you are trying to change people out there? Convince them that you are right and they are wrong. Very frustrating. But when it's up to you, it's much easier. So I'm talking about 100% responsibility, not because we are guilty or because we are sinners, but because everything in our life is just the screen. So my son was my screen and showed me what I needed to work on. And I made a decision. I could have punished him for talking to me like that. I'm his mother. But that day I said, Mabel, you have to do something. And I started my search, and I did a lot of trainings, like I'm sure you did too. But there was a little voice that said there has to be an easier and faster way. I still very practical, very intellectual, very business-like. So I said there has to be an easier and faster way. And I found it. So I know there are many, many paths, but I found the easiest way. And it's so easy you're not going to believe me. But I have stories to tell you, so maybe I'll convince you. One day somebody asked me, what would you do even if you don't get paid? And I was still an accountant. And if I didn't find my notes of what I actually wrote and I didn't recognize my handwriting, I would tell you I didn't write that. No way. When somebody asked me, what would you do even if you don't get paid? I wrote, traveling the world, sharing with others what had helped me. How did I know? I was just a senior tax accountant in Los Angeles. So there is a part of us that knows who we are. There is a part of us that knows our path. There is a part of us that knows why we are here. But we need to start listening to that part. Because we are always listening to the one that thinks it knows. You know the radio that never stops? How many of you read Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, My Stroke of Insight? Okay, so she explains the Ho'oponopono in a scientific way, because this is so easy that the intellect it just discards it, because it says, no, it cannot be this easy. But she's a brain specialist, and she had a stroke on the left side, her hemisphere, to the point that she needed rehabilitation. She went to surgery and she needed rehabilitation. So she needed to learn how to walk again, how to talk again. But she remembers everything. And she says that our intellect never stops. It's always making stories. You know that we make up the stories? We buy them? We buy our own stories. You know how she stops the left hemisphere? Thank you, but no thank you, I'm not buying. Thank you, but no thank you. This is a scientist, yes? Thank you, but no thank you, I'm not buying. So as I travel the world, because I do, I am right now in a 2-month tour. This was my first stop. As I travel the world, I realized that we are really family. That we are all looking for the same things, but we don't listen to each other. Yeah, we just want to be right. So I never thought about a world peace campaign, yes? But I received a tool. I received the Fleur de Lis in Israel, actually. And it's a tool that we can all use to bring peace in our life, because peace within is world peace. Being able to love ourselves, accept ourselves just the way we are, knowing that we are perfect just the way we are, it will allow us to see other people as they are, accept them as they are. We are not going to try to change people. We are going to realize that we all are seeing through memories. So Ho'oponopono, very ancient Hawaiian art of problem solving, is about 100% responsibility. I'm sorry, please forgive me for whatever is in me that created. So somebody comes into my life. How many therapists here, coaches? Okay. So did you know that the problem is not really in your client or your patient, but it's in you? So they come, and on top of that, they pay you to solve your problems. So if somebody comes to me and insults me, or tells me something that I don't like, I have to ask myself, what is going on in my subconscious mind? What is the program? What is the memory, yes, that is playing, that shows up as this in my life? So everything is just the screen. Have you ever tried to talk to screens? You all work with computers, yeah? If you see something in the monitor, have you tried to convince the monitor to change? No, you have to go to the delete key. Something is wrong, is an error, you have to erase. Ho'oponopono is the delete key in our computer. So again, like I said before, our life depends on our choices, our decisions. So every time something shows up in the monitor, I have 2 choices, only 2. Do I talk to the monitor, or I press the delete key? And pressing the delete key in Ho'oponopono, it could be as easy as saying thank you. I had a teacher, Dr. Ihaliaka Lahulen, for over 10 years. And one day God told him, just tell them to say thank you. I know what they mean. Because did you see that time is kind of going faster now? We don't have a lot of time anymore like we used to. So we have to act fast. So Ho'oponopono evolves. Yeah? So for example, because I am Jewish, or I was brought up Jewish, when I go to Israel, I'm able to say things to Israelis that if I wasn't Jewish, I couldn't, tell them. They would get insulted. But I always ask them, I say, what did you change? What are you doing different to expect others to change or to treat you? What is it in us that attracts so much hatred? If we look at ourselves as victims, we don't have a chance. But if I take responsibility and I know it's me, as I change, everybody changes, because everything is the screen. So it's showing me what is it in me that I need to change. So this is the easiest way, because we work directly with divinity. We are not the ones erasing. We are the ones letting go, giving permission. We were given free choice. And you know something very, very important? Did you know that peace is actually outside of our comfort zone? We boycott it because we don't feel good when things go well. We think something wrong must be coming. Something bad is going to happen any minute. Yeah? We don't like the silence. We feel uncomfortable. We don't trust peace. And I'll tell you an experience on how I realized this. So I was invited to a women's prison in Mexico. It was my first experience in a prison. Now I have more, but that was my first. And I didn't even know, like today, I didn't know what I was going to tell you. I didn't know what I was going to tell them at the prison either. But you know what came up? You know what I told them? I said, this is a spiritual retreat. You don't have to go to the supermarket. You don't have to cook. You don't have to take care of your kids. What are you going to do with your time? This is your time to know yourself, to connect with divinity. Do you talk about what happened? You talk about the past? You tell yourself stories? No, you have to remind yourself to be present and start writing, because you can help. It wouldn't be the first time a bestseller comes out from a prison. Anyway, that same night, we received a phone call from the people in the prison, and they said, the prison was so quiet that we went to see if they had escaped. Or maybe they are preparing something, because they were not used to the prison to be so quiet, no fights, nothing. So next time I come to Mexico, I said, we are going back to the prison. Yes, now I like the idea, yes? The first time was like, well, I don't know. And they said, no, they don't want us anymore. I said, why? No, because they said they don't feel comfortable when they are so quiet. They don't want them so quiet. And I thought it was a joke. But I was on my way to a preschool where all the teachers are students of mine and they practice Ho'oponopono. They wanted me to visit the school. And they had invited the parents so that I could tell them what they were doing in school with Ho'oponopono. So as I was talking to the parents, I realized, and I said, wait a minute, isn't it that if your kids are too quiet, you go to check because for sure they are doing something wrong? See, we don't trust. When things are too quiet, we have to make some noise. We have to create some problems, Something is wrong when things are at peace. And it's very important that we are aware of this, because it's imperative that we be at peace, that we be happy people. We don't have to raise professionals. We have to raise happy kids, because they are the ones that are going to come with a totally new mindset, and they will find all the solutions to all our problems. But we keep telling our kids the same thing that we were told, and we know that doesn't work. But we keep telling them the same thing, that they have to go to university because then they will have for retirement, they will have a good job, and they won't have any worries. We are really insane. Einstein said, yes, keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. Insanity. We are very insane. So I received the best advice in my life. When I realized I was going to teach, it wasn't really when I started my path, I was not looking to change careers. I was a very successful accountant, and I actually enjoy it because I help people. But God had different plans for me. And when you are open, you are flexible. When you learn to go with the flow, yeah? When you live more in the present, not make so many plans or goals. I like what God's plans are for me, better. So when you do that, life is taking you. It's taking you places. It's opening doors. Other doors close that you don't have to go through them anymore. So when I realized I was going to teach, I told who was my teacher, I said, I'm going to go and take some classes about public speaking because, I'm an accountant. And he says, no, that will take all your naturality. All you have to be is yourself. So I wrote some books that I published myself, but I sold them in over 15 languages. How did that happen? Who gave them my email to these publishers? Some of them I didn't even meet yet. So I go to Croatia, and so my organizer in Croatia says, Mabel, the publisher tells me there is not enough time to publish your last book. Could I publish it? And I say, sure. So I get to Croatia, we do a conference, we present the new book. And I look at the book, it's beautiful. Yeah, it doesn't look like self-published book or anything. Yeah, it's professionally done. So in the conference, I tell people, you know what interesting thing? The professional publisher said, no enough time, cannot be done. Okay? The beautiful thing about this is that she's not a publisher and I'm not a writer. I didn't take one class about writing books. The first book that I wrote, I told my teacher as a joke. I said, I started writing my book. He said, wonderful. I said, I wrote the index. Laughing, yeah, as a joke. He said, that's how you start writing books, by the index. So we all know everything. Everything that we need to do what we came to do is inside of us. Where are we looking? What are you waiting? What do you think you are missing? Because if we are here at this time of change and evolution, it's because we all have something very important to do. We all can make a difference. But that mindset that we have of, I'm not good enough, I don't have, I lack, I need the money, I need the title, yes? Are all those excuses. Because you already have everything. And you can make a difference, and this is what is important. So, for me, Ho'oponopono taught me so many things and helped me so many ways, yeah, to find really myself. I'm still trying to find myself, yes? But to have a little bit of more of an experience of myself, to see that we are all capable, that again, we all have inside everything that we need. The most important thing that Ho'oponopono taught me is that I'm not alone, and I don't have to do it alone. When we try to do it alone, that means from intellect, from thinking, from our reactions, our emotions. Yeah, we are alone. But when I let go, when I give permission, when I live in the present, when I realize that everything is taking me either to the past or to worry about the future, and all I have to do is say thank you to come back to present. Believe me, could be as easy as saying thank you, or I saying I love you, or thank you, but no thank you, I'm not buying. I have so many personal stories to tell you, but not enough time. But for me, in the beginning, it's like a new muscle, yes? Because we learn to worry, we learn to suffer, we learn to blame. It's part of our programming. So you have to consciously choose to let go. So in the beginnings for me, it was I let go and trust. I let go and trust. Even today, if I have a situation that is difficult, I let go and trust. I let go and trust. And amazing things happen. For example, once I had a financial problem, and my intellect, very smart, Argentinian, Jewish, accountant, Virgo, I have them all. More perfect than this, you're not going to find. The chosen one. So, my smart intellect said, you will have to go back to preparing taxes. That was the logical, yeah? I already had a lot of commitment. I already had a lot of employees. Long time ago, I realized I didn't need that much to be happy, but I had a big commitment with my employees. So logically, I had to fire them. I had to go back to preparing taxes. But then I realized Yeah, I was conscious suddenly because he was taking me to the past, to the future, yes? Suddenly I came to present and I said, God, you know why I'm here? You know how much I need and when I need it? I'm not going to worry. So this is very important what I'm going to tell you. The anxiety was not there anymore. Sure it was. The fear disappeared, vanished. No, it was there. But I was conscious. Moment by moment, we are choosing. If we don't do it consciously, guess what? Subconsciously, the program will keep replaying and choosing for you. So you have to be conscious enough to make different choices. So every time that I notice that the fear, the anxiety, or wanted to, take control, I would look up and say, I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry. Not only I didn't have to go back to being an accountant, I was able to hire more people. And the money was always there, but not because I visualized, not because I made the list, God, this is what I need to pay, It was because I let go. So I know that when you tell the intellect, let go, it gets crazy. No, I have to be in control. You think you are in control. You are totally out of control right now. Because you are allowing these memories to replay and replay and replay. I told you before, the thing is we are all talking about the same thing. We are family, but we don't listen to each other. So one day I presented in Bristol, UK, and when I got there, I realized my organizer was this Muslim from Ghana. And as he's taking me to the hotel, driving me to the hotel, he says, are you Christian? I said, no, I'm Jewish. And I thought, my intellect started making all these stories, yes? So I found out that a lot of Muslims were coming to my training. And I said, well, can I do this? Can I? So I said, well, that will be my challenge, yes? No, my challenge was, I usually don't have challenges in my trainings, but that time I had a challenge. There was a Christian lady that says, where did you get this information from? And I would say, I don't know. So she says, at one point she says, everything you are saying is in the scriptures. And she knew the scriptures by heart. So as I was talking, she would recite the scriptures. And the Muslims would recite the Quran, because she said, that's in the Quran too. So we ended up, again, realizing we are all family. In Kazakhstan, they asked me, is this against the Islam? I said, this is not against any religion. But where did you find a religion that tells you that you have everything you need inside of you and you don't need anybody or anything outside of yourself? Where do you find a religion that creates peace? Religions create war. So we don't have to confuse religion with spirituality. It's very, very different. This is very important. Spirituality will make us family, will bring peace. Once in Japan, they asked me, why when you do business seminars, you don't put the Ho'oponopono, word, or you don't say it's spiritual. And I said, in US, nobody would hire me. Spirituality. Ooh. And she says, she told me, in Japan, we would not hire you unless we knew it has a spiritual component. Because in Japan, we know that spirituality is the foundation of any successful business. How many of you apply everything that we heard this weekend only to your personal? And you don't tell anybody because it's your secret. Otherwise, you will be hospitalized. Yeah? Something wrong with you. So you have to be willing to be different. You have to be willing to run a conscious business. Different. You are going to be criticized. People are going to talk about you. They will put you in a different box. But you want to be in the different box. If you see everybody going that way, and there was only one going that way, go that way. That's the one. See, we learn to follow people, to belong to groups. We need it, to be accepted by others, but we are not happy. We are not happy. In Serbia, a 10-year-old girl told me, Mabel, can we talk to animals? And I look at her and I say, why do you ask me? I say, can you talk to animals? And she said, yes. I said, you see, why do you ask me? See how we don't trust ourselves? We need the validation, the confirmation from others, thinking that others know better than us. So what I told her, I said, please never change. Because maybe in this room, you are the only one that can talk to animals. We can't. But you are right, and we are all wrong. When are we going to realize that we need to relearn? That everything we learn is wrong, yeah? That everything is just our memories. And that we need to let go, reprogram ourselves, be more open, accept people. Really, peace begins with each one of us. And if we are at peace, everybody will be at peace. Haven't you noticed that those days that you wake up happy, looks like everything works? That everybody's happy. Oh, but those days that, something happened in the morning or, or you're not that happy. Wow. Yeah, it looks like everybody slept badly that night. So very, very important again, 100% responsibility. For me, realizing that, it gave me freedom. I felt free for the first time in my life because really, I thought I created it, I can change it. Now I am really in control. Letting go of the fear, letting go of the worries, the things, the anxiety that takes me to the future. How am I going to pay the rent a month from now? I don't know. But believe me, if you let go, the money will be there. Doing what you love, believing in yourself. Yes, you can do what you love and make money and live a very good life. Yeah, you can do it even if you don't have the title. Our kids observe us. They don't listen. We are their example. Our only job is to become happy parents. That's it. We don't have to give them advice. We don't have to educate it. Nothing. We just have to be happy parents. And everything that I'm telling you, it is easy to do. I know it's exactly the opposite of what we've been practicing. That's why it feels or it sounds difficult. But it's much, much easier of what you think it is. So in the beginning, Ho'oponopono was that the whole family had to be together at one time, at one place. There was like a circle, yeah? There was a moderator, and I would ask forgiveness to him, he would ask forgiveness to me. Maybe we didn't even know why we were asking forgiveness, but till we felt that we let go, that we felt free, yes? That the charge, yeah? Because in Ho'oponopono we work with our reaction to problems. We don't work not to have problems, because that's life. We learn from our problems. It makes us stronger. It makes us better people. So I work on my reaction to the problems. So my thing went. Okay. So when I do this, I don't set goals. Yes? I don't tell God what He has to bring me and when. I just trust. The trusting part here is very important, yeah? I have to trust that when I say thank you, actually somebody is taking care of my problems. And I really don't have to worry. And I put you an example, yes? When I say I'm not going to worry. And it really, really works. Because I'm just living in the present and allowing, yeah, God to help me. So in the beginning, the circle. But then Morna Simeona channel a Ho'oponopono that could be individually done, that I can do it from home and I can benefit all of you because we are all family. Whatever gets erased from me gets erased from my relatives, families, and ancestors. So people shows up in my life to give me one more chance We all been together before. So we are coming together because we have common memories, and that's it. All we have to do is, I'm sorry for whatever is in me. I tell people many times in my trainings, I don't know what I did to you in another lifetime, but I'm sorry. I hope in this one I'm doing a little bit better. So in Colombia, in Medellin, somebody wrote me an email a week later, and she says, Mabel, when you said that, I had this vision. We were all in this very bloody war, we all with swords. And so really, we never know. We really, really never know. When you think, when you analyze, when you think, when you try to understand, you are wasting your time because the intellect will never know. It's never what you think it is, because you cannot explain memories. Okay, so Morna channeled this, and then in the years that I've been with Dr. Ihaliakala, that was Morna's disciple, Ihaliakala started receiving tools as easy as the thank you, as the I love you, light switch. Have you noticed that no matter who turns on the light, it turns off for everybody? The light doesn't discriminate. So when you say thank you and you say I love you, it's like you are turning on the light. You are turning on for you. That's not being selfish. But when you do this, you help everybody. Okay? And like I said before, God even said, just tell them to say thank you. I know what they mean. So thank you, you don't need to mean it. You don't need to feel it. You don't need to think about the problem. In the contrary, what you want is to be blank, moment by moment, so that you can be guided, that you can be inspired, that the right solutions to your problems can come. I would like to open for questions, because I know time flies, and questions also always help me to clarify this. That is not as clear or too easy for the intellects.
I know Ho'oponopono, and I've been practicing it, but I don't know, so far you haven't told them here what you say and how you do it. So before you start...
Yes, I did, but you want me to tell them in the way you learn it. You mean the 4 phrases?
Yes.
I don't practice the 4 phrases.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay, but I will explain. This will help me, because how many of you think a Ho'oponopono is the 4 phrases? And that's okay. That is maybe one way. That's Joe Vitale's way. I'll tell you how I learned it from Dr. Ihaliakala.
Yes, but this is what I want to know.
Yes, yes.
So
did you hear when I say you can just say thank you?
Yes.
That's Ho'oponopono.
Is that enough?
That's enough.
Okay.
But you have to do it 24 hours a day. Not only when you have a problem. Because you never know what you could be avoiding. Okay? The memories play all the time. So we do training so that we can get in automatic. Have you noticed you breathe without thinking? You know, your body, your blood runs your veins without you thinking or programming. This morning I'm going to breathe like this. No. So, thank God. So, the same thing, that part of you that is your subconscious mind, your inner child, can be trained, because your inner child observe you like your own biological children. So if it sees that you are committed and you are doing it, it's going to do it like it does the breathing. So remember that I said, Ihaliakala said, God said, just tell them to say thank you. Ho'oponopono is, I'm sorry, please forgive me for whatever this shows up, that you are asking me this question. This is an opportunity for me to clean. But I don't need to repeat all that. I don't need to say, I'm taking responsibility, I'm sorry for whatever is in me. I just can say, thank you, 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 I love you. I love you, even mad, even if I don't feel it. Because what I'm doing is I'm letting go and letting God. I'm saying, especially if I have something that is really scary, that you worry, it's, God, I'll give it to you. This is too much for me. Okay? So, Joe Vitale came up with, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. But I'm here to tell you that it could be just thank you. And that what you are doing, even if you are saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you, still what you have to know that you are doing is taking responsibility and saying, I'm sorry for whatever is in me that created this. As a little child, we don't talk about, please do not confuse responsibility with guilt. We are not guilty. We are just responsible of those memories that keep replaying in us. And the only one that can transmute, the only one that can do it is divinity. So my job is moment by moment, being present and letting go, letting go. So I work on my reaction. But it could be as saying thank you. So I have to teach it the way I learned it from Dr. Ihaliakala. But thank you for bringing that, because otherwise I'm sure a lot of people had the same question you had. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Okay, one more question or two, or how many they allow me? And by the way, tomorrow at 10, we have a 4-hour workshop, and I'll give you a lot of information and many, many more tools, because we have a lot of tools, different ways, or how to train the inner child to do this 24 hours a day.
Hi, my name's Rachel. Does this work? Yeah, hi, my name's Rachel. I was wondering about, I can see this working in some ways, but in other ways I'm finding it very difficult because, for example, the tsunami in Japan, or Donald Trump, who I disagree with fundamentally. And I'll be honest with you, I actually, when I realised that Donald Trump did have a chance of getting in, I did do Ho'oponopono on the off chance it would have an effect. And it didn't.
Okay.
So there's like a collective responsibility which I believe we cannot be all responsible for.
Okay,
yeah.
so let me ask you something. Have you tried demonstrations? Does that work? Thinking about Trump, did that change anything?
No, but I did
Worrying and
Ho'opono.
seeing people from the tsunami as victims, did that make any difference?
Okay, I did Ho'oponopono.
Okay. How do you know what is right? You're going to tell God what he has to do? God, come on. The tsunami. I was in the earthquake in Mexico last week. Mm-hmm. And you know what I said? Thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity to be here to clean. What am I going to say? God, this is not working. No, I'm not going to do Ho'oponopono because this is not working. No, you are always at the right time, at the right place if you do this. And if you are protected and you are guided. So you know when the earthquake happened? I wouldn't be here in Europe. I'm going to go 7 countries now, okay? With the things that are happening. No, I'm staying home. No, because I know I'm guided and protected. So the earthquake happened when I was in LA to board the plane, okay? And then I find out, because my employees say, Mabel, there was an earthquake in Mexico, you know. And I got there, and I have to tell you, there were a lot of aftershocks. I didn't feel one.
Yeah, but a lot of
I didn't feel the alarm, anything, because you create your own reality. You don't depend on Trump, on the tsunamis or anything. You create your own. And if you take responsibility and you change, everything else will change. But you are blaming. You are blaming Trump. You are blaming the government. You are blaming. No chance. We keep doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Okay. I'm asking, the question is there a collective responsibility where we are not responsible for the collective?
We are totally responsible because we are all one and there is only one subconscious mind. Whatever gets erased from me gets erased from everybody, but I don't give directions to God of what is right. And everything that is happening, my message in Mexico, you know, after the hurricanes, after the earthquake, I said the earth is shouting to us, please change. We need to change its moment. We need more tsunamis, we need more earthquakes, we need more hurricanes. What are we guys doing? The tragedy is not that. The tragedy is that we don't wake up, that we keep doing the same thing.
So you're saying we, as opposed to I, yeah?
We are all one.
So
we are all one.
You do not wake up.
I'm doing my part, hopefully, sorry. Okay?
But your part is not a whole 100% responsibility, is it? Your part, either you're 100%
I am 100% responsible of the earthquakes, or the hurricanes, or the tsunami and Trump.
Okay,
but I'm willing to let go and let God, because I don't know anything.
Okay, so you're 100% responsible for it all. Thank you. That's all I wanted to check.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I think they are going to take me. Thank you. I hope you choose this path. I call it the easiest way. I found it. It really, really works. You have to be patient, and you cannot give orders. But you can be at peace. And if you are at peace, the world will be at peace. Thank you. See you tomorrow at 10. Thank you.